Welcome back to the Your Invisible Advantage podcast. It's me, T, and today we have one of my favorite humans in the whole entire world, Tyla Brimblecombe. Welcome. I'm so excited to have you.
Second T here.
Hey?
Second T here.
Second T. We've got two Ts in the house and they're both elite, elite humans. But Tyla is genuinely one of my favorite humans in this whole entire planet. If you see any of my content from my events, this is the woman behind it. She is just amazing. She's a friend. She's been a past client, but she's now like genuinely one of my good friends. And every time I get content for an event, like she's the person I call. And I just wouldn't be here without you today. Like I feel like you've been such a pivotal part in my journey because we've known each other before either of us even really had businesses. Like we followed each other for so long. So I'm going to shut up and let you just introduce yourself briefly, vaguely. Who are you? Tyla, take the floor.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm so excited to be here. I feel like this is we could either have like a really long conversation or we can do it in two parts because there's a lot to cover. But
yes,
I'll start where I think everyone knows me most, right? So from, let's say, stylist socials, social media marketing, TikTok guru, as everyone said, that has been like my thing, I want to say, over the past 4 years. And I've gone through running that business solo, and then 4 years being very successful in a short amount of time, having everyone know me for that thing. And then over the past year and a half, I've kind of taken a step back, still run it behind the scenes. But I'm kind of in a path now where I'm navigating what I'm going to do next, especially after being in something that had me in the spotlight very predominantly, right?
Yeah.
So I still love that area. But I'm just, figuring out what I want to do now. And I'm in an in-between phase, let's say. And it's tricky.
That's exactly why I wanted to have you on though, because we were speaking about this and you were like, oh, I'm not sure. Like I'm in an in-between phase. And I was like, that is the perfect conversation. Because how many people do you see who wait till they get on the other side? And then when they're on the other side, they talk to you about it. But how many people are in the messy middle right now that actually need a conversation from someone else in the messy middle so that they don't feel so alone, so that they can see it's okay if you navigate things like this. It's a very normal part of being a human, being successful. Like the first thing you do to be successful is not your forever path, or it doesn't have to be. It could be. But it definitely doesn't have to be. So I think that's why I really wanted to have you on today. Like the title of this episode will be something along the lines of like how to trust yourself when you have no plan, something like that. Because I feel like a lot of people, especially when you get into like your 30s and, you know, you're getting to those later stages of life, old, kidding. No. Kidding. But like when you start to like creep up above like 25, I reckon, like when you start to get above that, you start to just have changes in values, in what you want, in who you are.
Yes.
So the first thing that I want to start with you is you had a successful, thriving business. It was amazing. We worked together during that time. It was like you were the go-to person / still are behind the scenes, right?
It's okay to say not now, but we'll talk about that.
Yes. But how do you feel like from going from something that was super successful, you could literally just go live and on TikTok and make money. You could post one thing about having spots open with you and land multiple, like tens of thousands of dollars, right? Just off the back of you being you, of the social media and the personal brand that you had built. So you were very successful. I remember when you started working with me, I was like, I've never seen someone who has built something like what you have.
Really?
Literally. I was like, I've never seen someone with that powerful of a brand like be able to do that. And I was like in awe. I was like, I need to study this bitch. Like, what is she doing?
I didn't know that. That's how you felt about what I was doing.
I was literally like, okay, this chick has something that like more people need to tap into. What is it? You had like that magnetism and it was so effortless for you. So successful, making lots of money, effortless, and it's no longer here. So why?
Well, it wasn't even a thing of like it's here and then it's not. It definitely transitioned out slowly. And I think because it did become successful so quickly, I was booked out in advance. One thing about money, I've never been motivated by money, which is really, really hard, right? I also like to spend it. So that like even then, like I think one thing about money is I believe it'll come to you if you're being like the best version of yourself, not necessarily if you're working hard. So even the way that you said it was very effortless for you. You were very magnetic. I was so aligned and authentic in who I was online. And I think because that grew so quickly, I really got into a stage of like comparison. I was looking at the success of other people, and because it became such a like a popular, I guess, like niche.
Because you were kind of in it like just before it took off or as it took off.
I want to say like I was probably one of the first Australians that got really big. I had a very big American audience. I want to say 99% of my audience was American. Wow. And you know, tall top poppy syndrome, right? Especially in Australia. Seeing not a lot of Australians do what I was doing and then comparing myself to a lot of Americans who naturally had that like, I was confident, but they were on another level, you know? And I compared myself to a lot of them, I think. And that was one thing that I took really personally. Now, because I was taking on a lot of clients, I was booked out all the time. I didn't really give a lot of time to myself. Now, you knew me before I even started that business. Yeah. I was talking about mindset, personal development, spirituality, and I was really focused on self. So because that blew up so quickly, I feel like I lacked, or I didn't give myself the time that I used to have. And I didn't have a lot of strategies to cope when I was struggling, and that snowballed. And yeah, I think it got to a point where 3.5 years in, it all got a little too much for me in terms of I started showing up online and sharing things that I didn't feel like were very aligned with who I actually was, and I was out of integrity. So when I was talking about, you know, preaching confidence or authenticity and sharing tips and tricks for creators to build this beautiful magnetic brand online, I didn't feel like I could do that anymore because I was really struggling internally. And you were amazing coming in and helping with my business, and you were the one that helped me scale beyond anything that I ever could have dreamed of. I think you told me to triple my prices, and I was like, what? Like what you can do that? And I still did that and was still booking out, right? So I was making a lot of money, but again, not money motivated. I'm motivated by how big of an impact I'm having, but when I'm struggling internally, and then I feel like that is maybe translating into my clients, and then I'm maybe not, I don't want to say I wasn't getting as good of results because I always had great results and I always pride myself on that. Yeah. However, I didn't feel as enthused to show up and work with some people anymore. And I felt like maybe I was attracting some people who were struggling with a few of the things that I was actually struggling with. So to give them advice on things that I was struggling with myself, it didn't feel aligned, right? So it got to the point where I took a bit of time offline. I think I was off for maybe 2 months. Everyone was like, where's she gone? You know, yada, yada, yada. I came back on. I was like, guys, I took some time to myself. I did some therapy. That was great. And I just felt the same feelings that I felt when I left.
Did you think it was going to be different after the break coming back on?
I did. Yeah. And what's kind of funny is I didn't really do a lot of self-development work. I actually distracted myself. So I looked at other things, potential career paths, thinking that I was going to feel differently if I went and did something else. And I didn't. And from there, I think I maybe posted for a couple of weeks and I was like, I'm just going to take this offline. I was so fortunate in being able to have, I think it was maybe 6 or 7 total. I think it got to about 7 clients like on retainer for 1.5 years after. Behind the scenes, didn't have to post anything. They stayed on for longer packages. It was great. Fun little fact, my niche was like Mormons.
This is wild.
For a while. Like, I don't think I can get into too many details about it, but Mormons, I loved my little community. Anywho, and it really kept me afloat. It allowed me to try different things. It allowed me to work on things behind the scenes, like my relationship with myself, my family. It put a light on some areas that I didn't really think were important, such as like friendship, right? And I'm now looking at those a lot more seriously. But coming back to your point, I was able to do that for 1.5 years. And then as of 3 months ago, I went, I need to draw a line in the sand and I need to start fresh, because while I like what I'm doing, I'm calling in something new. I just feel like it's a little bit stale. Don't get me wrong. I still love TikTok. I still love social media. I love personal branding and everything around that. And I do definitely miss that coaching element, because I feel like by nature, like that is something that I'm always going to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been an interesting transition.
Yeah. Do you think it was like one moment specifically where you were like, fuck, I've got to cut this cord? Or do you feel like it was just like gradual, like one on top of the other, on top of the other? Because in a podcast I did with Lewis, we were talking about it, how it's like there's going to be little niggles from the universe, and it's going to be like, this isn't the thing, this isn't the thing, you're not meant to be here, you know this, like this isn't it, there's something better for you. but we don't listen until it literally becomes, it's like a feather just like floating past and we're like, oh, interesting. And then it will become a freaking bus. And it will like smack you in the face.
Yes, I heard that analogy.
Yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, it was so good.
Couldn't recite it, but I definitely went,
I've been using it ever since. I'm like, that is brilliant. I'll take that one.
Yeah. No, look, it was more so when I was coming to an end with my clients on their package. Some stayed and some didn't. And it got to the point where I was almost coming up being like, oh, if they want to sign on again, like I'll just keep doing it. But because I gave so much time to my clients. And like I genuinely feel like, I don't want to say I was putting myself in their personal brand because I understand that's the wrong approach. But I was giving everything of myself so I didn't have time to focus on myself. And I went, I'm still struggling with things that I was struggling with a year and a half ago. And I want to give that time to me. So it was more so, I think an opportunity came through where my client was like, look, I want to resign. And I was just like, I don't actually think I'm going to keep doing this anymore. So it was gradual. Yeah, it was gradual.
So interesting how you said like you're not motivated by the money. Doesn't mean money's not important. Of course, we all love money. It provides opportunity. It provides us, amazing lifestyles. We get paid to do what we love, sure. But I'm very much the same. I'm not motivated by money. I'm motivated by some different things. Money is a byproduct and I love it. And we'll always love money and we'll always want more money just because the sheer fact it means you're having more influence. But it's like, is that influence the influence you want to be having? And if not, then the money won't feel good because like, you're not doing work that you love. And from what it sounds like you want to feel connected to what you're doing in your soul. And if you're not, sure, you can do it and you prove that. You can do it. You can work hard. You can hustle and you're a high-functioning perfectionist just like me. And we flog a dead horse. Is that the saying? But it's like we do something way too long. It's like we overstay in something just because it's working, because we have people counting on us. We like all these things, the pressures, what will it look like? Like what will I do afterwards? All these different things. But something you mentioned in there was where when we knew each other before your coaching blew up, right? You were into mindset, all of that self-development work. You then went into content coaching. And then from what I gathered, it was very much about like, all right, content, personal brand, let's get you more followers, let's get you more opportunities, let's help you build your social media, which is literally what they hired you for, which is amazing. And you've worked with some incredible people, like incredible. But it's like, even when we worked together, I remember we were growing and we were making all these changes to your business. And I remember you said something to me and I was like, I know she will have to follow this path eventually. But you said something to me where you wanted to get back to bringing in more of the mindset element into things or like the self-development element. And I was like, that's interesting because she said like she's wanted to do that forever. She came in, thought then because it was successful, it had to be a certain way. And it's like when we let go of those parts that we genuinely have an aliveness for, I feel like that's when it becomes not fulfilling anymore.
Absolutely.
Even if the work's good, even if you're getting good results, it's like none of that matters if you're not fulfilled because you're not doing what you really, really, really want to be doing, and you will keep getting those little niggling things. So yeah, like it's genuinely no surprise to me that you're here. And I think it's so fucking good that you're here. Like I'm so excited for you. And I have no fear for you because I know when people go through these seasons, it's like the arrow, we talked about this on the last episode, the arrow has to pull back and it's going to go even further forward. But how are you dealing with the uncertainty? Because do you have a plan? I'm pretty sure you don't, but like you don't? No idea. So 3 months ago, you were like, all right, line in the sand, let's get rid of this. Now what?
So line in the sand, I had no plan. One thing that I do know is I'm an over planner. I'm an over planner, planner. It comes to me doing the thing and I won't do it. Or it comes to me putting all this time and investing in doing the thing. And then I look at it and I go, I hate it. I don't want to do it anymore, unfortunately. So I just kind of went, well, let's just see what I want to do. And actually before I even get onto where I'm at now, like over that year and a half when I wasn't active on socials, I still had a bit of time, right? So I was dabbling in a bunch of different things. I got my styling certificate. I went to Sydney. I did a course. I have done a bit of DJing on the side. I've done some behind the scenes content creation. One of your other beautiful clients allowed me to travel with her interstate and get some filming behind the scenes, which I love. I was really missing that in-person connection, right? So that was something that like I knew I liked. And I've been able to dabble a little bit here and there. But one thing that I realized as I was dabbling is I was searching for a thing. I was always searching for like what my next like fix was going to be. I was almost spending so much time trying to control an outcome that like I wasn't just letting things fall into place. So what I said with this line in the sand in January is I'm just going to let things fall into place and just see what comes up and what I need to work on. And it actually conveniently was at the same time when I went off my ADHD medication, which actually maybe it was a good thing, maybe it wasn't. I don't bloody know. But
we don't know yet.
I think I got to a point where, and anyone who's on ADHD medication maybe knows that it can dull your creativity. And yes, it makes you very productive, but I'm naturally a bubbly, excitable, funny, charismatic kind of person. And when I went off that, I thought a lot of that came back. But what I lacked then was the productivity and the getting things done. So it was a bit of a mix. And I think, yeah, I was just like stressed about not being productive. So it probably got to the end of Feb and you had your event. And I was, again, while I was playing around, I was still in the back of my head, subconsciously trying to control an outcome. I'm going to say that I wasn't, but I definitely was.
Yeah.
Then you had your event. And nothing really happened in between then and there. I was just like doing a couple of brand deals here and there. I did some filming for you. And that was a little bit of an income on the side. But as soon as you had your event, I got home and I literally just like laid on the couch and I was like, oh, fucking, I'm just going to let this shit fly. Like I really, really am. I'm really not going to try and do anything. I went and like laid outside on a mat in the grass and I just like had my hands behind my head and I was like looking at the clouds and there were all these little tiny things that I was like, I would never have noticed these if I was A, trying to control an outcome or B, on my phone doom scrolling because that's what I've also did with a lot of my time. I'm going to be real. And as soon as that happened, I started having all of these dream opportunities come my way. And I mean like things that I wrote down so specifically, whether it was a brand to work with, whether it was a creator reaching out to me that wanted to like go and hang out or whatever. And I've just been doing brand deals on the side. Also UGC opportunities, which I did not realize how much money was in UGC. But here's the kicker, right? I am not getting my fix for helping people in a way that feels satisfying, that feels like it's not self-serving. I think the influencer industry is great and I would consider myself on that kind of side of the fence now. I've been dabbling in it. I'm still dabbling in it, but I'm getting a lot more opportunities. And now I'm just kind of like, I like doing it, but I don't like doing it as its own thing.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in this phase where I'm like, I've got a business name for if I want to go full-fledged into the behind-the-scenes filming element. I wouldn't just do like wedding content. I would do events. I think that's what I want to focus on because I like a number of different things and I wouldn't want to shoebox myself. But I've got a few things going right now and I am learning to be okay with dabbling in a few things rather than just having a set thing. And I think that's what I need to allow myself to do. But again, I'm in the messy middle. I don't have a fucking plan right now. I'm just letting things kind of go. But what I am noticing as a result of that is what I actually am liking and not making myself wrong for not having a thing.
I always see it in the way, if I'm ever working with someone around this type of thing, the way that I describe it is like, you can think a pair of jeans will look really good on you all you fucking want, but until you get in that store and try those jeans on, how the fuck do you know that they don't make your calves look absolutely ridiculous? Like you could try them on, they could fit your waist and then make your ass look like shit. But you thought you wanted it. So it's like, why would you not go into a store and try all the different kinds on? Like, why not? That's why they have a little taste test at an ice cream store because like maybe you want to try all 31 flavors. You know what I mean? And I think that's so cool that you're allowing yourself to do that because as a perfectionist, high performer, needs to get everything right person herself, I understand what that feels like where it's like we feel like we need to have it figured out. There's also the excess pressure of you've been successful as fuck before. So it's almost like you have to like live up to your own impossible standard as well, that the next thing you have to do has to be the thing, has to be successful. You got to build it up again. Like, and that's, you know, you wouldn't say that, but that's an unconscious thing I know would 100% happen.
Absolutely. And like second to that, just to be very transparent, I'm still struggling with letting go of the identity of styler.
Yeah.
I really am. Like, I sit there and I will sometimes have a little cry about it, but from the sense of, it's not like, because I don't really care about having a name in the spotlight, but I do know how many people knew how many people I helped. And I knew how good I felt about helping so many people. So I think it's a thing of like, what am I using my time for if not doing good for other people, you know? And that's a really big part of the identity with styler that I'm struggling to let go of.
Yeah,
I
so
think.
a lot of people, right, we're all motivated by and influenced by different things. So your big influence and driver is significance. Like I definitely feel that from you. Some people it's power, some people it's status, some people it is wealth. Like there's different things. Some people it's intelligence. And yours, while intelligence might be in there somewhere.
Yes, we can. I do want to talk about that as well because I think that's a huge part of everything that I'm doing now. Yeah.
So we'll have like several motivating factors. For me, significance is another one as well for me, and that's my highest driving one. I don't care what I'm being paid. I don't care what the fuck I'm doing. I want significance. Like that for me is so important. And it's because when I grew up, I did not feel significant. So my job is like, I want to make everyone else feel significant in their life, in their work, in what they do. And if you don't feel significant, then I don't feel significant because I don't feel like I've done my job properly.
Yep.
You know, so it's like if you're not in, we need to know like what drives us as entrepreneurs, as business owners, as building a life we want on our own terms, like what inspires us, what motivates us. And when you can tap into that, that's when it should be effortless. Like what you experienced in the start before you put all these rules on yourself of like, oh, now it's a business. Now I have to scale it. Now I have to, it's like before all of that came in, it was fucking amazing.
Exactly. And that's the exact same thing with DJing, right? Like I was doing that on the side and then I had someone come up to me at a shopping center. I was literally in a change room and she comes out of the change room also trying something on. She goes, oh my gosh, you're doing the DJ stuff. And I was like, yes. And she goes, would you like to DJ my wedding? And I'm like, I've been doing this for a couple of weeks. I didn't even know how to do anything. And then I instantly was like, I could turn it into a business. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And like as soon as you put that, oh, that can be a business, that can be a business, that can be a business pressure on it, it doesn't become fun. So yeah, that.
And like it's like
true.
play for play. You know, we just want to do things that are play for play. And if it turns into a business, fuck yeah. Like,
and that's a really big conversation that I've had with Zach as well. So obviously I was the doer. Like I don't want to say like the breadwinner because, well, I mean, maybe I was for a period for sure, but I had a really, really strong conversation with him. And the conversation has still persisted over the past year and a half where it's like, hey, I have earned all this money and I have a lifestyle that I want to uphold. I have certain goals. I also am 26 now. We're probably going to have kids in the next couple of years, or at least I want to if we're ever so blessed to be able to. I want to travel a lot. Like there are a lot of things that I want to do, right? So if I'm going to be taking a step back, I need you to be really confident that you can step in for us. And that in itself has been a really hard conversation, especially as someone who likes to do everything herself. And it probably has taken me a year and a half to give him space to step up because I've always stepped in front. I've been like, well like, let me do it or like, let me just take over. Absolutely.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
So yeah, like, and that's, I think another thing of allowing myself to feel safe with him taking over has been huge. Especially like I wasn't raised with money. Like no one really gave me a leg up. Like I did everything myself and I feel like I've always had to do that. And I told myself the story that I will always have to work hard to get the things that I want. And that put a lot of pressure on any sort of business thing that I was doing moving forward, right? So yeah, that was another thing.
It's like an unconscious thing of like, not in a negative way, but it's unconscious pride where it's like, no, I'm the strong one. I'm the resilient one. And you're the youngest, aren't you?
Correct.
So I have this theory and I was saying this to Ash the other day and she was like, you need to fucking make a video on that because I've never heard someone speak about it that way. I don't know. I can't articulate it properly yet. So I might like butcher it or whatever. But I have this theory that the youngest, and I'm sure the oldest, the middle child, they all have their things too, right? We all do. But everyone always says like the oldest is, you know, the responsible one. That I actually think, and sure that can be true, but I think the youngest, no one really talks about how we come into a family and the family's already got its structure and we have to be a chameleon to fit in. So therefore we have to learn who do we have to keep happy? What are our roles? How do we have to be? We are responsible for everyone's dynamic in the family, to keep everyone in their dynamics of how they were existing before we got there. And we are like the mediators of the family. Like, I don't know if that rings true for you, but I'm like, fuck that. I feel like that's why I have such a hard time asking for help, because I was like, I never asked for help. I was helping everyone.
Yeah, I understand that concept. I don't think it necessarily applies to me because we, like my sister and I, we've both been quite individual. Like we didn't really rely on our parents too much. They, I think, were also, they were really busy all the time. Like they're together, like they were working. But I don't think that we necessarily had that dynamic, I would say.
Do you feel like very responsible for, like, let's say within your dynamic with Zach, like, do you feel like you feel safe now to let him step in? Like, how has that helped your relationship?
I'm getting there. He's also changed his job.
Oh, has he?
Yeah, still like similar thing. But it's, how do I explain this? I think I've needed to become more comfortable with less busyness. And he is naturally more slow, more intentional with what he does, whereas I'm like, zoom, 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 zoom. Like I need to get everything done really quickly, right? So it's definitely caused, I think, some issues in like me feeling like we're not aligned, but at the same time, when I'm rushing around and doing things all the time, I'm also really stressed. So I'm like, shit, like how do I be less stressed? And I think it's been really helpful leaning on him more because I've allowed myself to slow down. And while I still think I'm always going to have like my zippy kind of nature, I'm becoming more intentional with what I'm doing. So it's helped my emotional regulation, and I feel like my nervous system is a lot more stable, or it's getting that way anyway, and it's taken a really long time.
Yeah. And just permission that like it's allowed to take time, you know, and that can be for everyone else out there. Like it's not like you did this overnight. You know, it's been a journey for you to get there and you're still not even there. It's like it's going to keep progressing and evolving. Let's come to the intelligence conversation. Take it away, because you've obviously like, I know what this is, but I want you to explain it in your words.
Okay, so when you were bringing up that point, which I totally forgot about, by the way, where when we were working together, you were like, you mentioned you wanted to bring more mindset into the conversation. I believe that was in the in-between period where I took a break and then I came back to Styler and I was like, I'm going to give this a go, and it didn't really feel aligned. And what I found is I wasn't able to articulate myself well. I was listening to the things that I was saying and I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Who's going to listen to me? And I just didn't. I looked at my videos and I was like, I don't sound confident. And again, it's been like a year and a half since I've posted on that account or about that. But even still now, because I've been busying myself and distracting myself, what have it, only now since January or end of Feb, since I've like been in this break, have I really come to understand that I haven't prioritized learning. I've been satisfied with the surface level of knowing things. And I have like a lot of different interests, but I'd like to learn about them more so that I can become a more interesting, well-spoken person, so that when it comes to sharing the things that I say that I'm interested in, I actually sound confident. And I have always had this very big issue with sounding dumb, and the narrative that I've told myself is I'm not book smart, I didn't do well in school. And like that can be true, but I've given that so much more meaning and airtime in my life to the point where it is playing out in everything around me. My confidence, how I speak to friends, how I show up even in conversations with Zach. And like he's the fucking best person in the world. Like he makes me feel so safe. And he tells me how smart I am all the time. And like it makes me sad because I know I have the drive to want to work to be that or just feel more intelligent. And I know that it is coming, but that is really important to me because different people that I look up to, it's like the number one thing that they all have in common is they're all very intelligent and they're all very well spoken. And I just think that has so many more opportunities that open up to you when you are that way. And yeah, I've been the butt of the joke for a really long time, and I have overcompensated with being funny or silly or loud or fast speaking or whatever it may be. And I've just come to the point now where I'm like, I can be those things, but I always have a lack of confidence issue. How do I fucking fix that? And I feel like I've dabbled in it. And I don't want to say for longer than like a couple of days at a time, right? Like that sounds so silly. And I hope people understand what I'm trying to say, like when I'm talking about this, because I understand it's a very surface level, I'm giving a surface level understanding of how I feel about it. But about coming up 3 weeks ago, I got results back from a gut health test. And obviously they say your gut is what, your like third brain or something?
Yeah.
And I've never really taken my health seriously in terms of like, yeah, like I exercise. Yeah, like I eat well, but I also eat a lot of processed shit. I also haven't really been consistent in my fitness habits and stuff like that. And only over the past 3 weeks, I think this is like the longest that I've really stuck to like a meal plan and a health routine in years. And I'm so disciplined in doing what I'm doing. And I've never felt more alert. Like I have more energy. I feel clear. I don't feel dumb. And I feel like I always, like in conversations with people when I'm talking about how I feel about myself, like I feel dumb. I feel silly. I feel like an idiot. Like that will always come up in some way or another, right? I just feel like I have a lot more intention with what I'm giving my time to. And I think that has come from me focusing on my health. So I'm like changing my habits, and I've never been the type of person that could like exercise without music, or like I'll go on a long walk and I won't bring my phone. Like I love a no stimulation walk and just to let my thoughts roam. But I've really put in this habit of like learning things that I don't know about while I'm on the treadmill. So I'll do 10K steps every single morning on the treadmill. I know people don't like a lot of treadmill walking. You can get in nature, but I just find it's the consistent thing that I can go to. Rain, hell or shine. It's easy, so I do it.
Yeah.
And it's like my learning hour. And I've never felt like I've learned more. And I feel like I'm just more slow with what I'm talking about or the things that I'm learning. I'm just really trying to focus on my intellectual curiosity, and it's becoming so much more exciting for me. And I've never felt more confident in my life because I'm actually putting into time into something that is what I really value.
Yeah, I love that because like you value that stimulation, you value that like knowledge, learning. So learning is one of my biggest values.
Yes.
So when we value learning, we also value educating because we value then passing on our learnings because it has helped us. So now we want to help other people. So one of my highest values, which is why I prefer more thought leadership type content. I hate that word. Everyone says that word, but you know what I mean? Like I prefer more of that because I think that's more stimulating to me. That's what's changed my life the most. It's so interesting how you said in conversations, you would always find a way to bring up, I'm dumb. Somehow it would lead back to it. And like our unconscious is so sneaky. Like it wants to bring the conversation to where we want it to get to, but you want to bring it up before anyone else can hold it over you.
Absolutely.
So it's like, I'm going to say the thing in the room so that, you know, and it's like our unconscious is going to find a way to do it. But what I think is super interesting with things like this is, you know, we can say all this all we want, but doing something about it is the hard thing.
Absolutely.
Because it's like you are just, you know, that's who I am for everyone is so easy to say, but that's just who I am. I'm just not smart. I'm this. But for you to actually go out there, put yourself in that position to be like, you know what? I actually haven't prioritized learning. I haven't learned anything new lately. And do you know what? I feel like you and I are the same person because I had that same conversation with myself where I was like, I feel like I'm not learning anything and I want to learn something. I'm literally just randomly studying biology.
Love that.
Like it's so interesting
my little
to
thing
me.
at the moment is politics. I'm like, I want to have an opinion.
I'm
and I
learning
want to be
about-
confident speaking about it. I don't want to hide anymore.
I love that. I'm learning about game theory for like the
Oh.
war and stuff. Like I'm like, I have no interest in justice. Like what?
I find it interesting.
If I brought up my phone right now and I showed you all of the different things that I have just on Google of like, what is this?
Yeah, what is
But then
that?
what does this mean of this? Who is this versus this? You would just be like, what the fuck
Yeah,
is she
I'm like,
doing?
what am I interested in? Sociology. So,
Yeah.
so that's another one I'm learning
Yep,
about. Like
yep.
they're just so interesting. I'm like, oh wow, I've been in my bubble and I've thought this is the only thing. But what I wanted to say was so interesting how you felt confident on Styler because it was all very much surface level. You can go implement that, get a thing. But anything that actually took deeper thinking, anything that had real perspective, wisdom, piece of your heart, maybe a value, maybe actual experience of yours, anything that was connected to you is like, I can't articulate that. Whereas anything associated with, okay, I can like help you get that content to take off. Okay, cool. Like easy, right? So it's like so interesting. We do this everyone does this online where all they do is post about the things that they just literally you could YouTube. And it's like, okay, cool, but like, what are your thoughts on it? What's your perspective on it? And I love that you are learning how to articulate that better. Like, because that's what a commanding person does, is like someone who's interesting is someone who's interested in a topic. So it's like, if you want to be someone who people take interest in and then you can help them, be interested in topics. So I love that you were doing that.
Yeah, and I think like alongside with me having so much time at the moment, previously, if I had like different things going for me in terms of a set schedule, like right now I said I'm taking brand deals every now and then and I'm doing little bits and pieces. If I had like a set routine where I was locked in with clients, giving them all my time, and I had these moments where I was doing really well with that, I was focusing on my learning, and then I like had a bad day, I would fall off track so much easier. But because I have so much time, when I fall off track, I really have time to go, hold on, but you said you wanted to do this. Let's figure out why you're not doing that anymore. Let's figure out how we can overcome that and make sure you are prioritizing those things. And I feel like I'm bouncing back so much quicker. So while these may not be dollar productive activities necessarily, I know that it's going to pay off in the future, because I do want to, there is so like, and I know you would know this, but there is so much that I'm interested in that isn't surface level that I will be and like want to be talking about. But rather than going, I'm interested in learning this right now, I'm going to put this on my Instagram story that I'm doing this, I'm actually not as online as I have been over the past couple of months even.
Yeah.
Because I really want to be embodied when I decide to share this. And it's not from a perfectionist level.
I was about to say, perfectionist? No, I'm kidding.
I really want to clarify that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want to make sure that I'm like, I almost like have the space to speak in hindsight, rather than just I'm going through this right now and this is what I just learned. Like just now, like just learn just now. I want to have that full-bodied experience and the feeling attached to it, so I don't fucking stutter.
Well, also then you're not lying.
Exactly.
If you're just like
Or
regurgitating
pretending.
something that you just learned, the best way to actually learn information is to teach it after you learn it. So like it actually is a bit of a hack to learning. If you learn something, go teach it to someone else, you'll learn it 10 times more. But
I'm going to touch on that in a second as well. Yep.
But there's also the difference in embodied wisdom, which means like I actually understand what that is. I understand that in practical real life experience, which is why so many people learn things at university, but then they go to apply it in the real world and it's not the same. It's not what they thought. They don't like it anymore. It's because you never did the actual real life experience of it. You learned it in a textbook, and that's fine, but they just don't translate. And like that embodied wisdom, you can have full fucking confidence that no one can ever tell you it's wrong. Because if you're speaking about your experience with that thing, who's someone to tell you it's wrong? They can't. But if you're stating a fact, yeah, someone can be like, that's not true.
Absolutely. And to that, right, you mentioned like being able to go and teach people the things you're learning. That's how you continue that. But for me, while I'm not teaching, what I realized, and I think we've spoken about this before, where it's like sometimes you're like paying, like sometimes your best friends are the ones that are paying you for your work, right? I realized that yes, I may not be teaching those things. Yes, I'm having conversations with Zach, but I have never really had like a girl gang. I haven't really had a group of girls to talk about. Like, yes, I have my sister. Yes, I've got a couple of girlfriends here and there. Two of my best friends, they live overseas. So we catch up like every second week on a call, but that's just different, right? I have put so much effort, and it makes me emotional because this is like something that I never thought that I would do because I was lacking that in-person connection. I made such an effort to go out and make friends and do like networking groups and stuff. And I'm still going to continue to do that. I think I did my first one maybe 12 months ago. I went to like a spa and it was like a wellness event and there were a bunch of girls there. And just even that in itself, I was so scared. I was shaking just to meet other girls and just chat with them on a casual basis, right? But a year later, I think I've done maybe 3 or 4 of those events. And like, I've made a couple of friends, but this year I'm like, I just want to be in rooms with people that get the shit that I'm talking about. And I just want to have different conversations, not from a place of teaching people, but if someone has a different opinion on the thing that I'm interested in, I want to hear it. Yeah. I want to learn more. Like that's how I really, you're immersing yourself in that learning rather than just reading and teaching or reading and writing it down. And yeah, that is.
Because what that does, right? And this is the relationship Ash and I have. Come into our group chat. Like seriously, add yourself. Okay, because like we literally have conversations like this all the time where we have a topic, we'll bring it in and then we'll be like, what are your thoughts? Like, what do you think? What do you think's happening? What's your opinion there? What do you think? And it's not from this place of like judging. It's like genuinely curious. What if we could see different angles here? Like what is actually happening here? What is that thing? How do we apply that to real life? Is that something we like? And when we've talked about this, when we just talk about it to each other, we're not coaching each other.
Mm-hmm.
We're not hiring each other. We're literally just like, what do you think? It opens up so many more perspectives. It opens up so much wisdom that I'll talk for 5 minutes and then I'll get to an answer and I'm like, holy shit, that was fucking great. And then she's like, holy shit, that was so good. And I'm like, I don't know where it came from. I just unpacked my thoughts about the topic. And it's like, you've got so much wisdom in there already. And I don't think it's that you're not intelligent. It's that you haven't actually let that intelligence be seen because maybe worried about it being wrong or something like that. But it's like intelligence, fact, you can get right or wrong. But like intelligence, wisdom, body, like perspective, you can't get that wrong.
It's open.
And like that's what I think you're really deeply craving. So I love that. And how hard is it to make friends when you are, you know, everyone's already got their cemented groups and it's like so scary putting yourself out there. So I'm not surprised that you felt like super like anxious in that. I'd be the same. Where do you even find those things to go to? Like this is not even on my question list. I'm just
that's okay.
Genuinely curious.
I think, and this is going to sound so silly to people that like have a lot of friends.
Yeah, I'm like, can't relate.
I
like select small groups.
Yeah, and like I genuinely think I got to a breaking point one day where I just felt so lonely. And this is when I was still working with a few clients, right? But I was just like, I really want more of that in-person connection. I think I typed in like how to make friends or, you know, like how to have better conversations, because like one thing, and I feel like, you know, this, I'm a bit of like, I can be very avoidant. So you're like, I'll add you to the chat. I'm like, I'll never reply, but I'll be there sometimes. No, kidding. But
I will never talk back.
I'm working on that, right? Like I've even this year, like I've really put in effort to make sure I'm replying to my friends and stuff so that you actually feel like I'm a friend and it's not something that I've done
have
before.
noticed, just FYI.
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
I have noticed. And I'm like, oh, I feel important.
Oh, thank you. But yeah, so and then a few things started coming up in my feed and it was like Brisbane events and girls doing this, that. And yeah, I think I just started signing up for them and I was like, I'm going to go and do this. And I mean, Zach has a really big friend group, right? So most of the guys, they have girlfriends and like, I love those girls, do not get me wrong. But I do find that they are not creatives in terms of
online,
my level of,
yeah.
My side of the fence when it comes to being creative.
Yeah.
And, you know, I man, I just love fucking taking a photo to take a photo. I don't know many people in my life that do. So I want to be around people that understand that because it is a really big value of mine, like that sort of self-expression.
Do you know when you go to dinner and no one offers to take a photo of you, I'm like,
how about we not do the dinner? Actually,
I don't need the dinner.
That's what I'm here for. that is the entree.
Tell me you're a content creator without telling me you. Literally, I get like annoyed. I'm like, can you just take a photo? I don't want to ask you. Can you just take the photo?
I know.
Yeah, no, I get it though. Like that's so cool to put yourself out there as well. Like I feel like knowing you, that is huge for you.
And it's kind of gone from this stage, and this has been a recent development. It's gone from just like networking events, not networking events. Well, they are technically networking events, but it's just gone to like fun little Iraq sale or again, like a wellness.
I saw you went to that on
yeah. I met some great people, like lovely girls. And then what was next? I think there's like a knockoff drinks next week. So we're all just going to a bar and hanging out. Like I'm going by myself. Like there are a couple of girls that I already knew, but I think it might just get us a little bit closer. And if we want to message each other after and go further, we can. But recently I've been like, okay, in this stage where I'm very interested in putting myself in spaces that are uncomfortable for me and learning things that I don't fucking understand without being insecure, I think I want to just like search for random like events in Brisbane and just start going to like events that are about intellectual conversations. And that would be so fucking scary for me. Like it really would be. But I'm like, no, like I actually think I'm ready. Like I've got the confidence because I'm following through on the things that I'm saying I'm doing for myself. And I have not had this level of confidence in myself in a really long time. And it's just come from like embodying, focusing more on the learning aspect, which I didn't do for so long. And I think with Styler, a huge thing is I was just applying everything I knew in here. I really didn't spend a lot of time learning.
Yeah.
I didn't. Not even about social media space. Not even about the like pop culture elements or, you know, this is going to sound so fucked, especially for your audience. Like Layla and Alex Hormozy, are they together? They're married?
They're a couple. Yeah.
I don't know what they look like. I don't know what they sound like. I don't know, like that side of the internet, that side of, you know, like there are so many things that people think that I know about social media just because I've been in the space and I've been someone that has been quote unquote successful.
Yeah.
My success, I think, came from focusing on the individual and working with their strengths, not going out and finding research to make it apply, to make that. I really worked on like the human.
Yeah, I love that.
But again, because I was so involved and I was more emotional rather than looking at everything for what it is, like on the outside, I think, that took a lot more time.
Did you, after my event, because like, not that the event was pivotal for you, but like you said, like after.
I'll say that. It definitely was.
I could see Tyla in the background of the event, like everything we were talking about, she was like, oh, that applies to me. I could see her like your little brain ticking away. And I'm like, I know that that's impacting you. And I was like, yes. But did you go and get the Rick Rubin book?
I was already halfway through reading it.
You were already reading it?
So I finished it, which was very interesting because I loved it. And then I got to the end of it and I was like, the second half of this I don't really love so much. I feel like it was quite vague and repetitive.
Okay, I'm going to be totally honest with you.
You didn't love the book?
No. I don't read books like normal people read books. I read like a page here and there and I just pick a page, read it, and then I come back to another page like 3 days later.
Okay.
And I just pick another random page.
Okay.
I don't read straight start. Is that like ADHD? I have no idea. But like I just don't do
reading.
it. I don't like it. I like to pick up a page, read it, take wisdom, think about it, contemplate, put the book down, go on with my life.
Interesting.
Like I don't know why. That's just how I like to read books. So when I say I love the book, that's not from start to finish. I just loved elements of the book.
Okay.
I'm like weird. Anyway, let's pretend.
I feel like you listen to a lot of other podcasts and audiobooks and things, so it's different.
He is my favorite when it comes to creativity, expression.
Yes.
His work, I knew whether it was the book or not, but if you go listen to podcasts with him, I actually find his speaking is way better.
Yes.
Like the writing is cool, but if you can hear him actually speak, like I would recommend every single creative, personal brand, entrepreneur, go and listen to him because he is someone who is this just absolute genius in the music industry, but the way that it relates to us is wild, firstly.
Absolutely.
Like, I don't understand how that works. But yeah, I love the way he explains things is like you have to do it for yourself first. And there's so much in the online space, which is like so ironic you mentioned the Hormozis. Like, I love them. They're great. But like, I'm not really a fuck your feelings type person.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I'm more of a, cool, there's a time and place for that in business and healing, very different mindsets. But I'm also very much like, let's meet the human where they're at. And no amount of force or motivation can get someone to do something they're not inspired by or that they hate or that they feel soulless doing if their value is significance. If your value is wealth and power and fame, sweet. Like you actually could probably do a business where you're not that attached to it. You want to scale it. You want to, hire heaps of team members to do the work for you. You don't want to be in there with the people. You're hands off. You're the face of the business, but like there's everyone else under there, right? That might work for someone who's driven by power, who's driven by, and neither is superior. It's just different ways that humans operate. And you and I are very similar where it's like we do want that connected element where we feel like we love and enjoy what we're doing. Might not love every element, but like most of it we want to enjoy and feel like our soul is being fulfilled. Anyway, random side tangent that really didn't mean anything to do with what we were talking about.
No, Rick, like where he was going with that meeting in the middle almost.
Yeah. So it's like, you have to do it for yourself first, create it for yourself. The world will love it. That's why I said, like, if you want to be someone who's interested, everyone wants influence online. And I'm like to people, cool, but if you're not interested in anything, then the inspiration, the obsession, the hunger for sharing that with the world won't be there.
Because people just look at ChatGPT and grab the first thing that stands out to them and then they've got no soul or passion.
Literally,
and that translates.
Have no wisdom, no perspective, no stories, no emotion behind it. And like, if you want people to feel a part of what you're doing and you want to feel a part of what you're doing, you need to have that in there, right? If that's what you're driven by and your values. So I feel like that's so important. Now, your day-to-day, right now, what is it looking like?
So again, like I know it's been like 2 or 3 weeks, doesn't really sound like that long. But for me, it was floody-duddy all the time. This is like, I'm like, this routine is going to stick.
Yeah.
Waking up at 5 a.m., I will continue to do that. It'll probably start to get a little bit earlier, even into winter, because I know that's going to be a bit harder and I want the challenge. I go in the gym. We have a home gym. I do 10K steps in the morning and 4 days a week I do a workout. And that's like my morning routine. I will come in, I'm nice and slow. I like to take my time with my makeup. I have a healthy breakfast. I've recently had some skin issues, and that's why what prompted me to get the gut health test. And
Eczema?
I don't know. I'm actually getting tested at the moment for a few different things, but I've been like sitting out in the sun a little bit more and trying to be more slow with my mornings to regulate my nervous system and just don't go into fight. I don't have a flight. I only fight, unfortunately. Not good for Zach,
Unfortunately.
who is max chiller. And I'm just trying to have like a really slow morning. I'll do some emails. I might do a little bit of outreach, but at the same time with Styler, and I'm very fortunate to say this, I never really had to do outreach. Everything came to me.
Yeah.
I never
That's literally, I was like, while like, yes, businesses have that, but I was just like the level that you have, I've never seen that level of demand. Like I was genuinely shocked.
And I have that with the opportunities that are coming to me now, right?
Which is wild. So cool.
So doing that, filming things throughout the day. If I'm not filming, I am genuinely just spending a lot of time learning and reading. And if I'm learning something and I'm not actively having conversations with other people about it, I'm generally talking to myself about it, or I'm writing it down. I will get out in the sun with the dogs and making food, prioritizing healthy eating, which again, I really have not done too much of, spending time with friends. And this is a really big pillar of my life, but I will be shopping most days throughout the week.
I love shopping so much. I love shopping. It's such an experience for me where I'm just like, oh, what can I buy? I love things. But okay, so I feel like for you, once you stopped pushing metaphorically shit up a hill and you were like, go, 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 you actually stopped to reevaluate. I feel like the biggest gift for you, it has allowed you to look at so many other elements of your life. Like you just described all these multifaceted things you're doing in your day, which is incredible. Most people do one thing every day, which is work and sleep. Yeah. 2 things, right? You are doing so many different things to just find that joy and spark back with life. So your relationships have improved. Your health is on the way up, which by the way, like skin is usually a barrier issue with like, I have that, FYI. Do you look up metaphysical things?
You and I have spoken a little bit about that. I haven't gone into that just yet.
You should look up.
Like bits and pieces, but I'm not well versed in.
I don't think it like replaces everything. I think there's very real things. Like it was my wall carpet in my last house. But I do think that there are emotional links to a lot of things. And skin is usually our barrier to the world. So we're not expressing something we want or putting a boundary in place or saying something, and we hold a lot of anger. Yes. That's why the skin gets irritated. Anyway, different podcast episode. Little hint for people. You can look up metaphysical. There's actually a really cool book on it, of the anatomy of it. But so it feels like, you know, your relationship with Zach is improving. Your relationship with just joy is improving. Play for play, creativity, expression. And while they all aren't perfect, they're on the up. Your friendships, which I know you and I both share, we are more similar than you like think. We are so similar.
Friends.
I know, but things you say, I'm like, are you talking about me here? Like, you know, you're in my head. But I feel like it's one of those things, friends, huge thing for you. And I know that's a huge thing for me as well. Yes. And it's like a really big like wound of, you know, and that's why we're the black sheep and we spend time by ourselves. But I'm so proud of you for like stepping out of your comfort zone. Yes. And making friends when you're like over 22, I feel like it's so hard. So,
but it's the best time to do it because you really start to know yourself. And like you mentioned 100%. The age of 25 earlier, it's like your values start to change.
100%.
You
wait till you have 4 years on you in your 30s. It'll change again.
It'll change again. I know.
No, but that's it. Like it's ever evolving, right? Like everything is always going to evolve. There's going to be different things, different seasons of life. You know, if you go the path of a family, that's going to bring a whole new beautiful value set with you, and things are going to shift and change again. So I think it's so great you're doing this work now because I think your biggest thing from what I can see is letting yourself evolve and giving yourself the breathing room that you don't have to be perfect in it. And like that's why this episode, I was like, this is going to be so impactful because you're just in the messy middle right now, and the messy middle is honestly my favorite part for anyone ever to be in.
I'm really loving it. And I have previously stressed so much about being in it, so I haven't been able to enjoy it. But that's exactly it. Like I'm loving it.
If you had someone in front of you, let's wrap it up here. If you had someone in front of you right now and they were like, Tyla, I feel like life is pulling me in a different direction. I have this like, if not this better, but I don't know what that thing is. I have no certainty. I have no idea what it looks like. I don't know how I'm going to make income. And obviously so nuanced. I asked this to another guest today as well, but it's like you don't have any context from your lived experience. What is a piece of wisdom that you could give them? You don't have to tell them to leave it or to do but just for their internal, what would you tell them?
Figure out how you want to feel, what you believe your life is going to look like that will contribute to how you feel, and then make a decision from there. So say, for example, if you're not taking care of your health and well-being, which again, you see so many successful people from the outside that look quote unquote successful, and they're personal behind the scenes, their health, it can be the shit. Not everyone, but the people that generally come crashing down like me, that was a really big thing for me, right? Take care of that stuff first so that you are emotionally resilient, you are physically capable at handling whatever comes at you next. Because no matter what it is, I think that you will be able to approach it with a level of confidence and competence and clarity, I suppose. But yeah, I think it really just does come back to self. How do you want to feel? Evaluate any little things that you are doing right now that may be counteracting that, and adjust that first so that, you can approach whatever comes next.
Yeah, and it's like that coming back to yourself of your business, your success, your money, your life, your wealth will only expand to the capacity that your system feels safe with it expanding. So if you're burnt out behind the scenes, unhappy, etc., why on earth would you let yourself build that further? It has to at some stage come crashing down if you never address those things. It doesn't have to. You can address those things, but make sure that you're paying attention to the human behind the scenes, because that is the most important part. And this episode has been so freaking good. You have no idea how many people are going to benefit from this. Is there anything you have not said that you would like to say?
I don't think so. I'm very happy with where this has gone.
I'm content.
Yes. I was very nervous to do this. I'm not going to lie. I told you I wasn't.
It's vulnerable.
That was me,
Well, because we're not sitting here talking.
I was like, no, I'm not nervous, Taylor. I'll be fine.
You're shitting yourself. No, well, because vulnerability is the scariest thing you can do, but it's the most powerful thing you can do. So to sit here and say, I actually don't have it figured out, and share from your personal experience, literally the whole message of this episode, sharing from that personal experience is fucking hard.
Absolutely.
And the fact that you sat here and you did it and you looked confident.
Thank
Even
you.
if you didn't feel it, you looked confident.
And I actually did. I really did.
And you probably had a little bit of nerves, but I can tell that with what you were saying, you were confident in saying it, with your answers. And it's that just goes to show when you share from truth, vulnerability, don't try to make it look a certain way. It's that's what the world needs. Our job as humans in service is to take care of ourselves so then we can help other people just as a homecoming. All I want you to do is come home to yourself. I don't need to give you anything. It's guiding those people back to themselves. And I think that's the biggest gift you can give to other people by just being yourself.
Yes.
And you are so fucking amazing. So
Likewise.
I love this. I love all of you. And where can everyone find you?
At Tyla Brim. TYLABRIM.
I love that.
Yeah.
You shortened it for us so we didn't get confused.
Yes. I think it's just the four letters.
No, I love
it. I like
it.
how it looks. I like how it sounds.
Yeah, I love it. So what have you got coming up in your world that you want us to know about? Or maybe you don't want us to know anything. Maybe you're a bit of a mystery.
No, I think there's nothing. Again, there is nothing that I'm actively I'm working on this, coming soon, but I'm just enjoying dabbling in different things and not making myself wrong for changing my content every 10 days, because that's the era that I'm currently in, right?
And you've already built a massive audience as just posting as yourself. So girl, you got something.
Look, a lot of it is feeling self-serving right now, but I also am not making myself wrong for when I'm wanting to create those things because I know what I'm doing behind the scenes is going to be more meaningful when I'm just like ready to just like put up a camera one day and just chat about something because I'm feeling it.
We'll come back
genuinely.
to what Rick Rubin says. Do it for yourself first, because then that's going to help others. Like my favorite artists, I always think about like musicians with this, like MGK, you know, he writes his song, so random, but like he writes his songs about shit he's done. He does it for himself, to heal himself. He's not thinking what's going to go viral, what's going to be popular. He's like, this is a real story of my life. I'm just going to get it out on paper because it helps me to do that. And then everyone, and that's all the best artists
doing for everyone else.
Best artists do it.
Exactly.
Like, so I feel like that is so powerful. Keep fucking being yourself, whatever the fuck that looks like, even if it changes every 2 seconds. We love you. And thank you so much. If you guys love this episode, which I did, and I'll be listening to it over and over again, comment, like, give us a share on social media. I don't think you can like a podcast actually. But if you're on YouTube, like it.
Add it to your
I literally have no idea. Save it, share it, review it, tag us, all the things. And thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Bye.